Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Genuine Chit Chat, the podcast where we help you grow through what you go through. Episode 8, I'm here with Chauncey. He's been on a bit of a journey, going through prison and then coming out, completely changing his life around and helping kids to get off the street, which is amazing. So, yeah, let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome back. So, Chance, could you give us a little bit of a story behind your life before prison, basically?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you a bit about my background first. So I was born in Lewisham, South London. I lived with my mum and sister pretty much my whole life. Growing up, I played rugby. Rugby was my main sport. I played rugby at quite a high level. I played for school, club, county, and I got to academy level as well.
Mm-hmm. Who did you play for?
Harlequins, actually. Yeah. I played with some. I played with some of the boys that you probably know from like Cobham and stuff like that. But rugby was my main sport. I played at quite a good level. I played up until I was 16. I'd say rugby pretty much kept me on a straight and narrow when I was growing up, because there was a lot of like distractions and a lot of like temptations that were around me at the time. But rugby was like, yeah, that was my thing that sort of
kept your head straight.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And so when I was 16, unfortunately, I got dropped from Harlequins, and you know, being so young and getting dropped from a team that you're so passionate about, that you thought that like, yo, this is what I was gonna sort of pursue in my life. Getting dropped at 16, it was pretty disheartening, you know, like I sort of didn't know what to do with myself after I got dropped. So that sort of led me to like sort of be hanging around the wrong people, hanging around the streets a lot, getting involved in the stupid stuff. At first, it sort of started off with like antisocial behavior, messing around on the streets and stuff like that, annoying like neighbours, the public or whatever.
Do you think that's because when you were dropped, you didn't have anything to distract you on the side, so you're just going down that route?
Yeah, 100%, because rugby was my one and only sort of, like, it was literally a plan A. I didn't have a plan B or anything. So when I did get dropped, I sort of had nothing else to fall back on. And like, I found myself hanging around the streets quite a lot, or hanging around with the wrong crowds, mixing in with the wrong people. One thing led to another. I ended up getting more and more involved in criminal activity. So I started getting arrested for various things. And then obviously growing up as well, you sort of got to make a way for yourself, start paying your way around the house and stuff like that. So at the time, my mum did need a lot of help because she was at uni, but she was sort of helping me get to rugby, paying for all my rugby fees, certain school fees as well. At the time, I was sort of wanted to start making a bit of money, if that makes sense. But obviously, I didn't know anything else. So being around the wrong crowds, being around the wrong people, there's only one sort of route you're going to go down. And in 2020, I ended up going to prison for the supply of Class A drugs. So that sort of happened because I went to Wales to sell drugs, sort of, which is a bit.
So you just got into that by being around the wrong people.
Yeah.
So was that like you were working for someone and you were doing that in Wales?
So I started off. The way I started off doing it by myself. Started off making a bit of money, and then getting off to Wales was sort of working for other people and that.
Yeah.
So that's how I went to prison. And
wow. So how did that happen? Was it like on the road you got caught, or
what, when I went to prison?
Yeah.
So I was actually in like the drug user's house, and then the drug user left to go get some money out or whatever. And then she's a vulnerable drug user, the person at the time. Police came to do a welfare check on that person, and they saw 4 black people in the house. Like, so obviously alarm bells started ringing from that. They gained access to the property. We all got searched because obviously it was a bit dodgy. They asked us what we were doing here. We was like, oh, we came to visit our friend. They knew that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? Yeah, we ended up getting strip searched. I was the only one caught with drugs on me, so
oh no.
Yeah, I got remanded literally straight away. Yeah.
God, how did that feel in that moment? Because obviously, you standing in there, I guess when you saw them walk through the door, you were thinking, shit.
Yeah, I knew this. Way. Yeah, I knew like I was obviously gonna end up getting arrested, but I didn't know it would go to that extent. I sort of thought I might get bailed or something like that. But
wow,
yeah.
So that happened. So they just took you straight away.
Yeah. So I got searched, and then obviously they found the drugs. And then the police officer looked at me and said, listen, this is literally jail time. And then that's when I knew, like, oh, shit, like, I messed up sort of thing. And then, yeah, I knew from there that, yeah.
Oh, my
I
God.
was sort of done, yeah.
So what was it after? Did you just get put in the back of the van and then, like, driven?
Yeah. So I got driven to... The funny thing is, I got to Wales on the Wednesday. I got arrested on a Friday, ended up in jail on the Monday. So literally, this all happened within the week. So yeah, what happened was, from where they arrested me, they took me to the police station. But because it's such a serious, they take county line serious, and because in Cardiff there's such a high amount of drug users and people coming to Cardiff from various areas to sell drugs, the police are really trying to crack down on it. And at the time it was COVID as well, so there wasn't really much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was in the cell for about 2 days while they were conducting an investigation to basically see whether I can get bail or not, or I'll get remanded to prison. And yeah, they came to the decision that I should get remanded straight to prison, yeah.
Wow, so I bet those 2 days must have been so stressful, just sitting in that cell, just not knowing what was going to happen.
Honestly, it's stressful. Like, whilst they're conducting the investigation, they might find more evidence and more stuff. So they come to your cell, rearrest you for something else. Like, we found this, you're getting rearrested. So... And obviously, you haven't got contact with anyone on the outside, so you just... A million thoughts are going through your head, and you get a limited amount of phone calls as well. So.
Yeah, because I was going to say with phone calls, how did you have to get to a point? Obviously, you had to tell your mum.
Yeah,
but was it when you first got arrested, or like did she know you were going to Wales?
Nah, so it's so bad because I lied and said that I got a job doing construction somewhere else, innit? So that's why I was going to be gone for a certain amount of time. She was the first person I called. I called her. I said, Mum, like, I messed up sort of thing. And then that was the hardest phone call I had to make. Yeah, I messed up sort of thing. And I basically explained the situation. She was just asking, like, she was just baffled at first. She was like, how is this happening? Like, you was meant to be in somewhere else working, and do you know what I mean? But yeah.
When they finally came around and said you're going to basically be imprisonated, what happened then? Were you just taken... And where was the prison? Was it local to Wales?
It was in Cardiff, yeah. Cardiff.
Oh, no, so it wasn't even like it was near home?
It was like... So... Where I got arrested from, the police station was about a 5-minute drive. The prison was a 5-minute drive away. So it was, yeah, I was still very like local and stuff.
So you weren't even, because back home, if you were in a prison that was closer to home, you could have people come and visit you.
Yeah.
I guess it was a bit long for people to go all the way up to Cardiff.
So the way I got visits was basically through it's called Purple Visits, and it's basically FaceTime sort of thing. And because it was COVID, face-to-face visits were restricted anyway, so that was pretty much the only way. So yeah.
Wow. So how long were you in there for then?
Just under a year altogether, just under a year.
Wow. So how do they decide the point when you can then come out? Like, did you have to... Was it earlier than they said originally?
Yeah. So what normally happens is you get a sentence and then you do half that time, but obviously depending on how you are, mainly good behavior, and then you can come out and finish the rest of your sentence on tag. But after the tag, you're on license. So say you get 6 years, right? You do 3 years in prison, maybe do 2.5 years, and then 6 months on tag, and then the rest of that 3 years you're on license. So that basically means you have to report to probation. They have to keep tabs on you for the rest of them 3 years. If you mess up or do anything illegal, you get recalled, which is basically sent back to prison.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's, you're in behind the door for half that time, but you're
still like there, but not there.
Yeah. Under watch and or on tag or on probation.
So like constantly being watched.
Yeah, exactly.
So you said you were there for just under a year. So what point did you come out? How recent was that?
I came out in 2021, but I went back in 2022, but not because of any fault of mine, but I was on tag, right, and they gave me a dodgy tag. And the thing is, once you're in the system, you're in the system, and they'll do what they can to, like, the system is so messed up. They'll do what they can to try and keep you in, or try and just keep you under their radar or whatever, especially if they think that you're up to no good. But they gave me a tag, right, and that tag was dodgy. The way it works is, when you're on tag, you get a curfew, so you have to be back at home like before 7. Mine was 7. You have to be back
7
home.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
So you could never go like on a night out.
Nah. But luckily I was working at the time, so this is like, luckily I was working at the time, so they extended my tag until 9 on some nights. But
I mean, I do get why they do that, because if you've got to be at home by that time, then it's stopping you from going out, getting drunk, being out with people and making like wrong decisions.
Exactly, because that's in the nighttime is more or less when all the...
God, you must have felt like a school child again, having to be home by 7 o'clock.
It was so depressing. I remember times like I'd be out like with my friends or whatever, I'll be drinking. People, I'll be looking at the time, it's 6:30, but I'm only starting to get drunk a bit. So I'm like,
that must have been so annoying.
Honestly, it was so bad. But
well, I never actually knew that was the case with the tag that you had to have that.
Yeah. So yeah, you get a curfew, and then
What would happen though if you had to, I don't know, suddenly go to the hospital or something for like a family member?
Then if you had a legitimate reason, then yeah, obviously they can allow it. But like there were certain times where I'll be on the way back from work, because I worked in Waterloo at the time. I'll be on the way back from work, and sometimes the trains get messed up. I wouldn't make it for my curfew, and they'll be ringing me. But obviously I'd show proof that I was late. Have to take screenshots of the train. Honestly, like write letters and stuff. Say what time you left works, and it's a headache.
That sounds time consuming.
Headache, yeah.
So what happened? So why did you go back before I said about the timing?
So obviously when you're on tag, you get a curfew. My curfew was 7 p.m. sometimes 9 on work days. But if you're not back before 7 p.m, then they'll basically call the tag box and say that, oh, you're late. They'll ask if it's you. They say, oh, you're late. Why are you late? And then rah. So they were doing this like pretty much from the first day I got the tag, for the whole time I had the tag. They kept calling and said I was late, and I said no. I've literally got back. I was getting back at 10 to 7 because I was making sure I was back on time. Do you know what I mean? And then they was basically saying you're late, this and that, and I'm saying to them like, that you've obviously given me like a dodgy tag, you need to come and sort it out, sort of thing. A week later they came and gave me a brand new tag. I thought, cool, everything's gonna be fine. 2 days after that, the police came to my door and saying, we've had reports of you cutting off your tag. And I said, the tag, I literally showed them.
They obviously removed the one before.
Yeah, but that shouldn't have, like, do you know what? I've never actually thought of that.
It's probably because they removed the first tag.
Yeah, I've never actually thought of that.
That's flagged up on the system that you've removed it.
Yeah, they didn't log it in or something.
They just didn't like put that in the system.
Yeah, like I said, they said, oh, you've cut your tag. I showed them the tags on my ankle. Like, what do you mean? They said, oh, there's nothing we can do. You're gonna have to go back to prison for 2 days maximum. 2 days maximum. I was like, do you know what? All right, cool. I can just get it sorted. It's better.
That must have been so frustrating though when you
know.
It
was so annoying. Like I was literally getting ready for work, and like they came knocking. I'm in my work clothes. They said, "Listen, you're going back to jail." And I was like, and this one I just started my new job as well, so I didn't want to let anyone down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, like 8 weeks later, I'm still in prison.
No
yeah.
way.
But
for removing the tag you didn't even remove.
Yeah, exactly. But luckily, I got compensation from it.
Oh, okay, that's good.
It was like when you're in prison and you're not meant to be in prison, they'll give you £90 per day. So it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Such a random amount. Though,
yeah. No, £90. That's what I mean. Like I don't know how they worked that out. Because
that is really random. I guess maybe it's like a day's rate of work that you would have earned if
possibly.
You were working.
That's what I'm thinking. That is
really random. So did you, because I want to ask about the actual experience when you were in jail for the first time, so I'm kind of intrigued, what was the actual day life like?
All right, bear in mind it was COVID at the time, so so like regime and association and stuff were restricted as it is. So a normal prisoner would like they'll get like an hour social. So you're allowed out your cell for an hour. The rest of the day, you're in your cell 23 hours. It's different in different jails.
How do you keep yourself like?
Honestly, you meet certain characters in there, and like people's true like imagination and creativity will come out. Yeah, like it's crazy. You're in your cell 23 hours a day. You're allowed out your cell for an hour to like make phone calls, see other people, have showers and stuff like that. Sort out any paperwork or whatever. That's pretty much it. But I had a job. I was a cleaner on the wing. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was a cleaner. So my regime, I'll be out myself for about 6 hours, 7 hours a day. So a lot longer than everyone else, which is all right. So my door would open at 8. I'll be open until 12, and then I'll bang up for lunch, have lunch, be in myself for another hour. Then I'll be out myself for like another 2-3 hours, and then maybe another hour in the evening, depending on what governor's on. But
did it just feel like time just went on forever, or did
do you know what? Some days went quick, some days went slow. But like Do you know the longest part was my last week? Like,
Really?
yeah. When I got my release date of okay, you've been approved for tag. You're coming out on this date.
That must have been so exciting. knowing
Yeah,
you literally
yeah.
had a
Honestly,
week
it
left.
was. It was because obviously everyone's applying for tag, trying to get their early release, and you're seeing other people coming back to the wing. They're like, oh, I didn't get it, or other people got it, or stuff like that. So it's just nerve wracking. But when you do finally get it, obviously it's a nice feeling. Like,
And what was the actual environment like? Was it scary inside?
not really. I mean, prison has so many preconceptions, but
Because
like
there was that show online, on TV.
banged up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see Tim was on there as well?
I saw that. And that looked like so scary.
obviously-
they were like sort of gang up on each other.
because that was for the cameras. That's exaggerated, but stuff like that does happen. But the thing is, most people in prison, like in HMP, not young offenders, most people in HMP, they want to just get on with it, keep their head down, get their time done. People don't want problems really if there's no reason to cause a problem. Do you know what I mean? But if you're going around looking for issues, you're gonna find issues. Because don't get it, there's people in there for over 10 years. Like, you think they won't beat you up for a few days, especially if you think you're like, I don't know, trying to prove yourself or trying to make yourself something that you're not, like, because people see through that straight away. Do you know what I mean? But if you're yourself, you keep your head down and
you just get on with it.
yeah, like, and it's me. I feel like I'm quite like sociable. I talk to everyone. I can get along with a few people, so I didn't really have any issues like that in there.
That's
But
good.
obviously, I saw a lot of stuff. I saw like
You
some.
just didn't get involved.
Yeah.
That's good, because obviously then since you've come out of prison, you've sort of changed your whole life around. haven't you? So
definitely.
you work with kids now to try and help get them off the streets. And was there a certain part, which by the way, that is amazing that you're doing that. That's so
Appreciate
good.
it, thank you.
So was there a certain part when you were in prison you thought like, I need to sort my life out and I don't want to just live in life, keep coming back here?
Yeah.
Like, was there a certain moment you remember?
First of all, even the first drive of going like driving through the gates, and obviously the massive walls, like 20-foot walls. That first bit, I'm like, I'm looking out the window like, what the hell am I doing here? Honestly. The main thing that sort of made me change my perspective was my mum and like my family and me being away from home, because like I said, I grew up with my mum and sister. I'm essentially the man of the house. So me being away from home, like my sister not having a big brother there, my mum not having an older son there. Obviously, I help out around the house a lot. So yeah, just being away from home, like seeing what it sort of did to my mum, seeing what it did to my family, my sister, that was literally the main thing. I was like, yo, I can't do this. Like, yeah, it was mainly my family. Luckily as well, I met a few people in there. So like a lot of the people that were in the wing were a lot older than me, and they were like big grown men and stuff like that. So they would basically show me sort of the right way and stuff like that. They were good influences, can I say, as much as they could be, like being in prison, you know. But yeah, the main thing was my family.
Yeah, that's good that you realised that. So when you came out of prison, did you sort of have that mindset like, I need to start doing something?
Yeah,
like,
so no, I knew I had to make the change when I was in prison. So on the lead up to like my court, my sentencing, my hearing and stuff like that, you get these documents called character references. And that's basically, if you're like an established person, if you got a good job and you haven't been in trouble before, they can write a character reference about me, basically how I was before and how they know me and stuff like that. So I've got character references off my old rugby coaches, some of my school teachers, my because my mum's a nurse, so some people that my mum worked with and stuff like that. My old rugby coach's wife is actually my CEO of the charity that I'm working for now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that actually worked out really well.
Yeah,
then.
exactly. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So obviously I got in contact with her to sort of sort me a character reference. And then she got back to me and said, oh my God, like, I didn't know this is sort of your situation. If you want, there's a job opportunity for you when you come out, obviously working with kids. And that's how I got into the job, and that's sort of where I thought, you know what, I can not only make a change in my life, but make a change in other people's lives as well.
So yeah, when you initially got into that, what did she tell you what you were going to do, or was it sort of
No, she basically said it's a sports charity. So the way it works is we basically try and make a change in kids' life through the values of sport. So we have an acronym called STRIDE, which is sportsmanship, teamwork, respect, integrity, discipline, and enjoyment. It's basically teaching them the values of sport and how you can use them in real life situations, and how you can overcome difficult situations using those values and life skills.
Did she did she get you into that, or did you want to choose to actually do that yourself? And what is your actual role in that charity?
Okay, yeah. So I started off as a volunteer, then I got the opportunity to do an apprenticeship, which is a community activator coach apprenticeship. And then I got moved up to youth development lead, and now I'm youth development lead now. So yeah.
So is that your daily job now?
Yeah. Wow.
So what is the Monday to Friday role? So what do you do? So do you go like to different schools and stuff?
Yeah, so we have a main course that we run out of a rugby club. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday they come to us, but they get referred from school. Mm-hmm. So we used to work with Feltham young offenders. We used to get referrals from there, but since COVID, everything's just been up in there. We haven't been able to get as many participants. Mm-hmm. But so we get school referrals. They come to us 9 a.m. beginning of the day. 5 main sessions. We do 3 sports sessions and 2 we don't like to call them classroom sessions, but they're sitting down and we do worksheets and we do workshops on various stuff, teaching them life skills, teaching them the values of work, the values of how your values change when you're by yourself and when you're with your friends, healthy relationships, drug and alcohol abuse, knife crime awareness, grooming awareness, gang culture, just a lot of problems that these young people are facing,
Yeah.
And we do workshops to not only make them aware, but obviously to try and teach them how they can overcome these issues as well.
Wow. And do you reckon if it was the other way around, if you got given that opportunity when you were younger, you would have stayed off going down the route you went?
Yeah, sort of. But a lot of these kids there, so we're working with 13 to 16-year-olds. I sort of started going down the route when I was 16. So it's hard to say because I feel like I had that sort of distraction that sort of kept me away from all of that
the rugby
at first. Yeah, but maybe if I had someone in my ear telling me, because I know if I went and tried for another rugby team, I could have got I probably would still be playing at a professional level, but it's hard to say because you're still young at 16, but
it's just I don't know what it is when you're 16. You think you just know
everything.
That's
that's what I'm.
That's why you probably went down that route. And we all do stupid things when we're younger because we think we know everything. And I remember my dad used to say to when I was younger, we'd have family dinners. I'd say something which was obviously wrong.
And
he'd like, Jen, you don't even know what you're talking about. I was like, yes, I do.
Yes,
Dad.
I do. Yeah.
No, you don't.
I'm the same. Literally hard-headed. Yeah. So I think that's what it was. I think I was too hard-headed to sort of
listen to anyone else.
Yeah, I knew what I was doing. I was like, obviously, if rugby isn't for me, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna. Because bearing in mind, a lot of my uncles, my fam, my cousins and stuff, they're involved in that lifestyle heavily. So I'm seeing all of them, and obviously the good bits, the money they're making and the cars they're driving and stuff. So I'm just looking at them you know what, I can probably do that. And where I'm getting older, I need to start paying my way around the house as well. I just wanted something quick and easy. But obviously, if I had someone in my ear telling me yo, this isn't it, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
So how have you felt? How's it been rebuilding your life since you've been out of prison again? Have you found it easy, or has it been?
Yeah,
hard?
now it's easy. Now it's easy because I know what I need to do. I know my purpose. I know who I need to be around, and I know who I could potentially let down and stuff like that. But when I first sort of come out, it was hard, man. It was hard because I was still putting myself in certain situations that I shouldn't have been. So there was a lot of temptation to sort of start getting back into it. And obviously working as well. The main thing I started doing what I was doing was for the money. It's quick, easy money. And I was making, at that age, for that age, I was making quite a lot of money. That was the main thing. But there was a lot of temptation to sort of,
I guess it's hard because it is, like you're saying, it's that quick money. It is so tempting
that's
if you
what
just
I mean.
want it quickly.
If you know, where you've done it a million times before, I could make a quick something, whatever, by doing that. But it's obviously
that's only a short-term thing. It's not going to work out for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
And plus, you don't want to live your life being in risk, being worried if that's going to happen again.
Exactly. Plus, like I was going to say, the risks that come with it, it's obviously not worth it. Do you know what I mean? It's not worth it. The long-term risks and the people you're affecting around you, and it's not worth it.
Yeah. So now you're doing this with kids to help them get off the streets. Have you got any sort of long-term plans or goals you want to do with your life now?
So I do want to carry on working with kids, carry on doing what I'm doing. I don't want to say too much, but I'm in the process of sort of starting my own sort of summer program, summer camp, or not even just summer, holiday sports camps for kids. because through the job that I've met a lot of like sports coaches that coach various different sports. A lot of my friends coach sports. So basically, I want to start doing summer sports camps for kids. I just started doing a bit of like gym content, social
Yeah, I saw
media,
that.
sort
It
of
looks
sports
good.
content.
Were
Yeah,
you
yeah.
really focused on that when you came out of prison? Were you into your fitness before, or was it
Yeah,
since
so
you came out?
yeah, so what I realized was I sort of went down the wrong path when I stopped playing sports. When I stopped, because I'm massive on sports and fitness and like, but yeah, I went down the wrong path when I stopped playing sports. So that's one of the things that I realized. Exercise and sport really helps me just keep my mental state right and like keep me on the straight and narrow. Whenever I'm feeling stressed, I just go to the gym or go to whatever, and it sort of just helps me cope with a lot of stress and problems and stuff.
That's one of the main, when I have guests on the podcast, their main like advice or something that's going to bring you back to,
Exercise.
exercise. That
Yeah.
is, it
So
always is.
my apprenticeship, obviously, community activator coach. That's like one of the main aspects of the apprenticeship, trying to push exercise and sport through communities. And that job role, community activator coach, came around during COVID times. That when gyms were closed, like there was only parts available. That's when community activator coaches were really prominent, because they were teaching people, you don't need a gym, you don't need this, you can do workouts from home. So that's the main sort of aspect, pushing sport through the community, especially when you don't have easy access to facilities, or you don't even realize the benefits of what exercise can do for you. But yeah, I feel like pushing exercise is like it should be a big thing in people's eyes. But
Yeah, because I feel like it takes you out from whatever situation you're in. Say you're struggling with something, if you just give an hour to even just walking, going to the
100%,
gym, it's like you're
100%.
completely distracting your mind from what's actually going on.
100%. And the chemical benefits from it, because it releases endorphins.
Yeah.
It just puts you in a better mindset to sort of, because I can name plenty of times where I've woken up and I've been like, oh, I can't be bothered to do this. Let me just go. Do you know what I mean? You must get it as well. As like, let me just go to the gym. I come out of the gym and I'm like, oh, you know what? I can tackle this. I'm ready to go. Do you know what I mean?
Because it's like when you wake up, cause sometimes I do it. I used to do it loads when I was younger, but now I don't. My alarm goes off in the morning, because before work I either go for a walk or go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's so easy when people say to me, oh no, I'm too tired to get up in the morning. When your alarm first goes off, it's so easy to, because obviously no one's going to wake up being like, wow, I'm awake. You're going to feel tired. You just have to physically get yourself out of bed. And a lot of people just use the excuse, oh no, but I'm too tired, I'll snooze it. But snoozing it makes you so much more tired.
Yeah, it's
than
true. It's
you
true.
do if you were just to wake up.
It's just that initial thought of just get yourself up.
Yeah.
Like, so much easier to just press, like, to deflect the situation, deflect the problem, rather than just tackle it. But
yeah. And then you do the exercise and you've already got that task done before like 9 a.m. in the morning. That actually just sets your day to be good.
Exactly.
So say if there are any sort of younger people listening now that are sort of going down that path that you were going down at the beginning, what sort of advice would you give them? Like if it was at your age when you were going down that wrong route and you need that someone in your ear to tell you something.
I'd say find a passion, find something you're interested from a young age and stick with it. Because having that passion, like for example, playing sports, it teaches you so many life skills that you don't even realize you're learning at the time. Like for example, playing for a football team from a young age, you're learning social skills, playing teamwork, working within a team, like the commitment of waking up every weekend to go and train, to go and play with the team. You're learning all these life skills that you don't even realize you're gonna be taking them into the later stages of your life. Find a passion from early and stick with it. And if you're already involved in that lifestyle, you probably heard it a million times, but it's not worth it. Like, there's literally only two ways you're gonna go down, which is jail or death. And you might say, yeah, I can handle jail, I can handle prison, but the people that are around you that you're affecting, they're not gonna be able to handle it, because that's one thing that I didn't realize, like the toll that it took on my family and stuff like that. But just by not being there, or just by having that thought, oh, my son's in prison, or do you know what I mean? It's such a hard thing for them to go through. So think about other people before you start doing certain things.
That is true, that it does affect, it's not just affecting you, it's affecting like everyone around you. Like did that cause, like that must have been hard for you and your mum, like your relationship wise.
Yeah. I know, like, my mum's done so much for me, like, growing up, and I've seen her struggle. I've seen her, like, literally break down in front of me and stuff like that. So all of that's in the back of my mind whilst I'm in prison. And when I came out, she just looked like she'd been through the wars. Like, honestly, bless her soul. But yeah, that was the main thing. That was the main, the toll. And even my little sister, like, she's going through a hard time herself because she looks up to, I'm a big brother, so she didn't really have anyone to go to like that when she needed it. So she sort of felt abandoned at such a young age as well, if that makes sense. And obviously, like, her father went to prison. It was tough on her as well. Do you know what I mean?
Like, to think that she doesn't have like any men in her life to guide her.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess, is it sort of made your relationship better now? Like, are you closer with them now?
Yeah, 100%. At first, like the first year and a half, it was a headache, but now we've got overcome those issues. We sat down, because one thing about my household, for some reason, we just keep things in. Like, we don't talk about stuff, so it'll stay quiet, and then one day everyone will just go off, and then it'll just
because
be
you can't hold it in for that long, and then someone will annoy someone, and you'll just literally
exactly. So do you know them times when people are annoying you and they do one more thing to just tip you over the edge?
Scream.
Literally just lose your stuff. But
your relationship must be good with her now, because she must be so proud of you that you've sort of made this complete change. From that to now trying to help other kids not get into your position that you were in.
I know my mum is anyway, because obviously my mum, I follow her on Instagram. She's all posting stuff, because through the work that I've been doing, I have won like a few awards and stuff. So she'd be posted pictures of the awards. Oh, look what my, do you know what I mean? So that's nice seeing that.
That must be really proud of you.
100%.
So what awards have you won then?
I've won a multicultural apprenticeship award. I won Young Coach of the Year.
Wow.
I won national. I can't remember, national apprenticeship. I can't actually remember.
Some sort of award.
Yeah. But they made a whole song and dance about it. But yeah.
Wow, that's so good. I saw a picture on your Instagram. You met Kate Middleton as well. How
did
that happen?
So, like, through the organisation that I did my apprenticeship through, like, every year they have events and stuff like that. That's why I said I'll go and do my speeches. So that was their 10-year anniversary sort of event. So they had a massive event where a lot of Olympians came, a lot of people that are quite high up in the sports industry came. Prince William and Kate Middleton came, deliver a speech in front of them. I got to speak with them about, like, obviously my story and stuff like that. And it was really cool just chatting to them, because 2 years before that, I was in the trenches somewhere, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can never imagine yourself in that position.
Do you know what I mean? So obviously, going back to what we were talking about before, if it was like hard sort of, like, when I got out, I look back at moments like that and I think, right, I've actually come a long way.
You've come such a long way. You need to take time to be proud of yourself as well, because the amount you've done.
That's the thing.
It is. I do get it. When you do good stuff, you never give yourself.
It's hard. Yeah, it's so hard to big yourself up.
Yeah, you give more praises to other people that have done it, but you probably don't give yourself enough.
Do you know, saying that is funny, because that's like one of the workshops that we go through with the kids. Self-affirmation. Do you know what I'm saying? Big yourself up. If you've done something good, because it's so hard for us to, like. So imagine in a job interview when they're like, tell me 3 of your best qualities. It's so hard. You feel,
it is,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, but
it's weird, isn't it? It's like us as humans, we hate bigging ourselves up. So we're like embarrassed that we don't want people to think we're being cocky. There's a difference between cocky and being confident in yourself.
100%. Yeah, exactly. Do you know there's a stat? It's like we have thousands of thoughts a day. What do you think the ratio is of positive and negative thoughts that we have?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't actually heard that one.
I think it's something like 75-25, like 75 negative, 25 positive throughout the whole day, which is crazy. And obviously we dwell on the bad stuff all the time. So this is what we're trying to push the young people, like, big yourself up when you deserve to be bigged up, because they're hearing a lot of negative stuff from teachers, from schools, from police or yacht workers, like, oh, you're doing this wrong, you're not meant to be doing that, you're not meant to. So when they actually do stuff, we make a song and dance about it, because they're not used to being praised like that. And it's like with adults ourselves, like we don't like praising ourselves, but take time to praise yourself, because it's important. Like,
yeah,
you know
is that your advice? Because normally at the end of the episode, I ask like guests to give a bit of advice. Is that what you'd give? Someone to do?
That would be part of my advice. Take time to praise yourselves. Exercise is so important. Like, go for a walk, just go for a light jog, do something to sweat and get your blood flowing. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the benefits that you'll get from it they're so good. Like Hannah, I remember Hannah's episode, she was talking about it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So also the last question.
Yeah.
What is your favourite song that makes you feel good?
My favorite song that makes me feel good. I've got a few.
Go on.
All right. First one, Anella Herem, Lock and Key. That one's good because I've never been like into country music, but that's actually a good
Oh,
country.
is it a country one?
Yeah, it's actually good
Country's
country
got
song.
so big recently.
Yeah, it has,
isn't
isn't it? It has,
Yeah.
but like he's like kind of youngish, so like,
Yeah.
and what he's talking about is relatable. Anella Herem, Lock and Key. I say Pot of Paper, Purple Rain. That's a good one. If that's for the deep thinkers, that one's a good one. And yeah, those are my two. I'll leave it at
I
that.
love
Yeah.
that. So everyone that's listening, cue those up next. Thank you so much for coming on this episode.
you
Your
for
advice
having
you've
me.
given was great.
Thank you for
and
having me.
I wish you all the best for the future. Why am I saying that as if you're like so full?
I'm moving away. Oh, I'll see you soon, Jen.
No, but thank you so much for coming on the episode.
Thank you for having me.
You should be so proud of yourself for what you're doing with these kids, helping them,
appreciate it.
because you're probably making such a difference on their life that it would probably be nice if you had for yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
So-
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.